The biggest lie in America just got exposed. Remember when Joe Biden stood at the Georgia Hyundai plant promising it would create good-paying American jobs? Jobs that you could raise a family on, he said. Well, ICE just raided that same plant and arrested 475 illegal workers. The largest single-site operation in DHS history. But it gets worse. Well, American families are struggling to find work. While Biden made promises, nearly 500 jobs were stolen by people who shouldn't even be here. And nobody wants to answer the real question. Who hired them? Who signed off? Who looked the other way? Well, American workers got sold out. Well, the truth is about to shock you. Now, let me ask you something first. If you built up $100,000 or more in investments, do you really want it all riding on the stock market? Think about it. Banks, billionaires, even entire countries are loading up on physical gold and silver. Why? Because when markets swing, real assets hold their value. And that's why I want to tell you about Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to own investment-grade gold and silver, the same kind the big players are buying. And you can actually hold it in your hand or put it safely in your retirement account. To find out more, visit nextnewsgold.com or call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Operators are standing by. Make sure you tell them that Gary Franchi sent you. So, massive arrests taking place today across the United States. This very dramatic event just hit the wires. Bridget Gabriel posting 2 service members arrested for supporting Hamas while in uniform. It's nice to see the U.S. Armed Forces are restoring accountability within their ranks. Look at this.
Rise up! Every American sitting at home right now needs to realize that you are paying for a genocide. Take this one. Rise up! Rise up, America! Rise up! It is time to take back this country from these corrupt politicians. It is time. It is beyond time.
We're going out to the voting dog.
Thank you for your service. Every American
Thank you for your service.
Right now.
Yeah, they're about to get dishonorably discharged. And speaking of dishonor, we have this from J.B. Pritzker calling for mass protests against ICE coming into Chicago. We've been tracking this. New video has surfaced. I don't have it immediately. Maybe, Todd, you can find it. That they are now putting fencing around Federal Plaza in Chicago, waiting for the mass protests that Governor Pritzker is endorsing. And you know those protests always end up with storefronts being destroyed, cars being firebombed. It's amazing that Pritzker would endorse these protests. Of course, they're peaceful, right? Mostly peaceful.
And I'm telling people to know your rights, be extra careful, and know that there is the possibility that ICE will be on the ground and causing some mayhem. Don't play into their hand. And if you have the opportunity, please protest, pull out your phone, video everything that they're doing, whether it's an iPhone, an Android, whatever you've got, and make sure that the media sees it.
Yeah, make sure the media sees that you're here's a video of the barricades going up in Federal Plaza in Chicago as they're expecting violent protests.
Guys, I'm on the ground at the Federal Plaza where you can see workers setting up this barricade here ahead of these demonstrations that are expected in front of the Federal Plaza here in Chicago. Guys, I'm going to keep you updated as this unfolds. Guys,
so Chicago is about to turn into a war zone. The Trump administration, CNN even reporting, just apprehended nearly 500 people during an immigration raid on a Hyundai site in Georgia, the biggest single site operation in DHS investigation history. But who hired them? That's the big question.
We're following a massive ICE raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. Officials say roughly 450 undocumented migrants were apprehended. Now, Thursday's raid was carried out by multiple state and federal law enforcement agencies, including ICE, the FBI, and the Georgia State Patrol. I want to bring in CNN's Isabel Rosales, who's been monitoring this. So, Isabel, what is the latest this morning?
Omar, good morning. With more than 450 people apprehended, this marks what appears to be one of the largest ICE raids at a single site in the 22-year history of this agency. Now, here's what we know. This happened at the Hyundai Meta plant site. This is in Ella Bell, Georgia. This is just 25 miles or so west of Savannah. And according to the Associated Press, this raid stopped construction of this factory that's being built to produce batteries for electric vehicles. This same site, this same project, this was touted by Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp, who called it the largest economic development site in the state's history. Now, we have video that we're showing in pieces here of masked and armed agents there at the site, giving out orders while officers raided the facility. We can also see workers here in hard hats and vests. They were lined up as this was ongoing. On site was ICE, Georgia State Patrol, FBI, DEA, ATF. They were executing, Omar, a search warrant that DHS says is part of an ongoing criminal investigation into this, quote, allegations of unlawful employment practices and other serious federal crimes. They're saying that this sends a clear and unequivocal message, too, that they're taking this very serious. And here is the special agent in charge, what he had to say about this raid.
We are making many arrests of undocumented individuals. We have encountered many lawful employees working here, United States citizens and lawful permanent residents, and they are, of course, being released.
Meanwhile, Hyundai says it is cooperating with law enforcement, saying this: we are committed to abiding by labor and immigration regulations. And meanwhile, Omar, on this same day, hundreds of miles away in upstate New York, another large raid at a work site. Dozens of workers at a family-owned plant that makes nutrition bars were also apprehended during an ICE raid. CNN affiliate WSTM reports that about 60 workers were detained. New York's governor condemned this raid, saying it doesn't make their streets safer. And the owner of that nutrition plant told the New York Times that the workers had legal documentation to work in the U.S., calling this ICE raid, quote, overkill. Omar.
Yeah,
Let's
you could,
thank you for
you can get those legal documents probably anywhere online. Here's more. Meta Resistance posting this.
Hyundai manufacturing site in Georgia, and more people were detained at the business in New York. Welcome back to Action News Midday.
Now, the move sparked anger and frustration with the New York governor, who is saying she's outraged by people being separated from their families. ABC's Rena Roy has the very latest.
There's the old line, separated from their families. Trump is separating people from their families. Yeah, there it is.
475 people detained by immigration officials at a Hyundai manufacturing site in Ella Bell, Georgia, Thursday, just west of Savannah. The ATF Atlanta offices posting these images on social media, saying they were there to assist.
This has been a multi-month criminal investigation where we have developed evidence, conducted interviews, gathered documents, and presented that evidence to the court in order to obtain a judicial search warrant.
Department of Homeland Security officials say this was part of an ongoing criminal investigation into allegations of unlawful employment practices and other serious federal crimes. DHS saying it underscores the commitment to protecting jobs for Georgians, ensuring a level playing field for businesses that comply with the law, safeguarding the integrity of our economy, and protecting workers from exploitation.
There are no criminal charges being announced today.
More than 24 people detained are South Korean. The country's foreign ministry voicing, quote, concern and regret over the incident at the plant, which is run by South Korean companies, saying individuals' rights should not be unfairly infringed upon. Meanwhile, in upstate New York on the same day, at least 40 people were detained at a factory that makes specialty nutrition bars.
The workers here, like I said, they're great people. Love every single one of them. We can't do what we do without them.
I won't support any effort to separate families. I think it's appalling. I have said all along, I will help the federal government remove people who are threats, that are violent criminals. This is what the president promised during his election. This is what we are told. Go after the worst of the worst. That's all we heard about. And now you have raids.
And now officials have not provided details on that.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. What do we have here? This is Roz Alerts posting some video from that raid.
Immediately. We need all work to end on the site right now.
Wow. Massive operation. Hyundai, you done effed up. Big time. And speaking of effing up, the U.S. is deploying 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico. Just a day after 2 Venezuelan military jets flew over a U.S. warship, the U.S. is deploying 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico, and within closer proximity to the country of Venezuela for anti-cartel operations in the area. It's also being reported U.S. Marines and sailors from the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit began carrying out amphibious training and flight operations in southern Puerto Rico, according to Reuters. I think we have some remarks. Todd, maybe you could grab those remarks from Trump in the Oval Office today, talking about the operations of those flyovers and the authorization for shooting them down. But I want to also take a look here while we're looking for that. Speaking of sedition and undermining the United States, this Homeland Security posting this 11 hours ago. To call for beheading officers is unhinged behavior. The men and women of ICE put their lives on the line every day. President Trump also making remarks about what's going to happen to these Portland protesters. He's going to go in and shut it all down. Look at him burning an American flag. As you know, President Trump has made that illegal. Wow, look at that. Oh my goodness. These people are just sick. Absolutely sick. Well, President Trump has said that's going to get shut down real quick. Here, we have this also in Missouri. 2 buffet owners charged with harboring illegal immigrants. Don't tell J.B. Pritzker that. Federal agents arrested 20 people at the home of Guo Ling Yi and Di Jin Yi.
Legally.
Tonight, a St. Charles buffet is shut down after federal agents raided the restaurant and a nearby home.
And today we learned 2 people were charged in connection to this. Justina Coronel joins us from the newsroom to share details in this case. Justina.
Well, Mike and Kelly, just 24 hours ago, a federal grand jury indicted 2 people from St. Charles County. Both are charged for bringing in and harboring immigrants who came here illegally. Now, this is after federal agents raided Golden Apple Buffet in St. Charles and a home about 10 minutes away in St. Peter's.
You got a drone out with a drone?
In this video, you can see FBI agents armed with guns go inside the St. Peter's home on Park Charles Boulevard South Tuesday morning. That's an agent screaming, "Hands up," in Spanish. A witness who took this video said agents arrested 20 people. No one answered at the door Thursday morning. Then an hour later, 5 on your side learned 56-year-old Gao Ling Yi and Di Zhen Yi were charged for bringing in and harboring immigrants living here undocumented. Defendant Gao Ling Yi is also the manager of Golden Apple Buffet in St. Charles. One witness said a group of employees would come to work in a van, and the buffet just had its grand opening in May, but it's now closed. The FBI confirmed.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have hired all those illegals. Okay, so we got the clip here from President Trump in the Oval Office talking about those flyovers. What will happen if Venezuela jets fly over U.S. naval vessels?
Do that, you have a
Venezuela flies jets over U.S. naval vessels again.
Well, I would say they're going to be in trouble. We'll let them know about that. We heard that happen, but it wasn't really over, not like they described. But I would say, General, if they do that, you have a choice of doing anything you want, okay? If they fly in a dangerous position, I would say that you can, you or your captains can make the decision as to what they want to do, all right?
Sure.
Sir,
how close
we
did
have,
they get?
we have
Mr.
one
President, you said they didn't go over.
Say it?
How close did they get? You said the planes did not.
Well, I don't want to talk about that, but if they do put us in a dangerous position, they'll be shut down. Thank you very much, everybody. So we're going to now cover the G20.
They will be shot down. President Trump deploying fighter jets to Puerto Rico. And here's President Trump talking about those Portland protesters. He's going to send the National Guard.
Portland. I will say this. I watched today. I didn't know that was continuing to go on, but Portland is unbelievable what's going on in Portland. The destruction of the city.
Are you going in the
Well, I'm going to look at it now because I didn't know that was still going on. This has been going on for years. So we'll be able to stop that very easily. We'll be able to stop. But you know, that was not on my list, Portland. But when I watched television last night, this has been going on. You wouldn't be standing if you were the mayor. You would be. Can you imagine what they're doing? They're walking in, throwing smoke bombs into stores. These are paid terrorists. Okay. These are paid agitators. These are professional. I watched that last night. I'm very good at this stuff. These are paid agitators. They get paid money by radical left groups, not radical right groups, radical left groups. And they get paid a lot of money. And you see it with the signs. You know, they all have perfect signs that are printed. They look as good as that sign. Those signs aren't made in basements. They're made at professional printing offices, and they cost a lot of money. These are paid agitators, and they're very dangerous for our country. And when we go there, if we go to Portland, we're going to wipe them out. They're going to be gone, and they're going to be gone fast. They won't even stand the fight. They will not stay there. They've ruined that city. I have people that used to live in Portland. They've left. Most of them have left. But what they've done to that place is it's like living in hell. Yeah, go ahead.
Living in hell. You know who else is living in hell? Geraldo Rivera. Benny Johnson had an amazing exchange with him. Oh, this was solid gold. On the Piers Morgan show, Benny Johnson was up against Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo stunned silent over the exchange.
What do you mean by they're not criminal aliens? Are you saying that they came here legally or illegally? Which is the answer?
The only crime the vast majority of these people have committed is coming here illegally. That's the only crime.
That makes
They're
them
not
a criminal.
Tren de Agua. They're not MS-13. The vast majority of them. They commit fewer crimes than citizens do.
So do you understand respectfully, do you understand the definition of the word illegal? Because you just said they came here illegally. Do you understand what that means? That means they broke our laws. The laws on the books.
I am absolutely.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. Geraldo, stunned silent. More on those fighter jets to Puerto Rico. Sources say the development comes after U.S. forces attacked a boat that Trump said was carrying massive amounts of drugs. The president is sending stealth fighter jets to Puerto Rico to use against what he claims to be state-sponsored drug cartels in the Caribbean. We showed you that footage just the other day of that attack. Let's continue. We've got more to get to here. There's that footage of those people that Trump is going to get rid of quickly outside of the ICE facility in Portland. The buffet owners. Okay, Alligator Alcatraz, a major victory. Rapid Response 47, 9 hours ago. Alligator Alcatraz, a judge reversing the order to shut it down.
Stunning news tonight.
Down to a major decision involving Alligator Alcatraz. A judge now reversing the order to shut it down, allowing the migrant detention center in the Everglades to stay open. This is being seen as a major victory for the Trump administration.
And we're getting reaction to the stunning news tonight. Local 10's Magdala Lusan joins us live near Ochapee with more. Magdala.
Yeah, so that initial order was just issued 2 weeks ago to the day, asking the state to shut down Alligator Alcatraz as well as move the detainees out. But now with this reversal order in today, it looks like Alligator Alcatraz will stay open, at least for now.
Are you tired of winning yet? I'm not. Okay, what do we got here? U.S. Attorney General for Southern District of Texas at a press conference, the American people told time and time again, insisting on a secure border, an orderly immigration process lacks compassion. But what?
Time again that it. Madam Attorney General, good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Ganji, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Texas. The American people have been told time and time again that insisting upon a secure border and an orderly immigration process somehow lacks compassion. But what the disastrous record of the last 4 years has shown is that an open border is anything but compassionate. And perhaps the most pernicious and cruel outgrowth of our once open border is the rise of the cartel-backed human smuggling industry.
Oh my.
And make no mistake, it is indeed an industry. Human beings are treated like commodities, stacked like cordwood in dangerous and sometimes deadly conditions. All it takes is one faulty air conditioner or one wrong turn of the steering wheel to turn a smuggling run into a mass casualty event. The saddest example of this is the 2021 smuggling crash in Chiapas, Mexico, where a tractor trailer carrying 160 people overturned, costing the lives of 50, including children, and injuring more than 100 others. The Southern District of Texas, along with Joint Task Force Alpha, has worked tirelessly to bring justice to those responsible for this great tragedy. Last year, a grand jury in the Southern District of Texas indicted 6 Guatemalan nationals for conspiring to smuggle these victims into the United States.
Wow. Senator Mullins torching Ilhan Omar after she insulted the Trump administration for taking out the Venezuelan boat.
He said this. Let me ask you then about this, because one proactive action was shown this week in regards to the drug boat coming from Venezuela, and Secretary of Defense War, Pete Hegseth, he said this yesterday.
Mr. Secretary, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct that. First of all, just the defense of the American people alone. 100,000 Americans were killed each year under the previous administration because of an open border and open drug traffic flow. That is an assault on the American people. Every boatload of any form of drug that poisons the American people is an imminent threat. And at the DOD, our job is to defeat imminent threats.
And Ilhan Omar, but she's not the only one, is questioning the legality. She wrote this: I condemn the lawless and reckless actions in the Southern Caribbean. Congress has not declared war on Venezuela or Trinidad and Tobago, and the mere designation of a group as a terrorist organization does not give any president carte blanche to ignore Congress's clear constitutional authority on matters of war and peace. So again, I ask you, as a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, what do you think about the authority here?
Well, we have the authority to do so, and Omar carries zero weight, and she's completely irrelevant when it comes to this. Anybody that wants to talk about national security should not be talking to Omar. She has zero credibility to this whatsoever. The fact of the matter is this was in international water. The boat had been warned to stop. They chose not to. They were clearly running drugs. We had been tracking it since it left Venezuela, and this is what you get. You know, you play stupid games, you have stupid results. And for Venezuela, the message to them is mess around and find out. We don't have Biden's administration in office. You have President Trump. We are being proactive, which goes back to changing from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. You continue to act this way. You continue to want to be a cartel rather than a legitimate country. We're going to continue to destroy all the assets. You want to fly a jet close to our assets? Mess around, find out what's going to happen next.
Well, actually, I wanted to ask you about that. Can you explain to people what happened this morning in terms of what Venezuela did? to us.
Yeah, so I believe, I haven't talked to anybody from Venezuela, but we believe that they tried to basically prove a point. We had a Navy ship in international water. They chose to fly a jet dangerously close to it, too close to the fact that they were also warned. They're lucky they didn't get shot down. It was 100% being provocative going towards us, and we think it was in a result to us shooting down one of their drug ships. And I do mean one of their drug ships. This ship that we destroyed was dispatched from Venezuela. And so this was the response, and we're going to respond back to what they did today.
All right, Senator, thank you. Glad you're back.
And you heard what President Trump said, shoot them down. Now we're finding out that the Trump administration has found over 22,000 migrant children who were trafficked over our southern border.
Thousands of migrant children were given to unvetted sponsors under President Biden. Fox News has an exclusive look at the federal team working to find them now. Brooke Taylor is live in Dallas. She's got the latest for us. Good morning, Brooke.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, this team was created in March to fulfill one of President Trump's key campaign promises that he enlisted.
The video is a bit glitchy. I just want to let you know that. You can tell.
Of unaccompanied minors who crossed the border and were ultimately lost in the system under the Biden administration.
We found kids in very deplorable conditions, very dirty conditions. We found children who have been raped.
We got exclusive.
President Trump tracking them down, finding those children. They're not messing around anymore. Attorney General went on News Nation to discuss this win for Alligator Alcatraz.
Trump, but Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is necessary. And why Florida?
Well, under the leadership of Governor DeSantis, Florida is leading the way on immigration enforcement. We're making arrests more than 3 times any other state in the country. We're detaining illegal aliens, and we're going to need more space to do that. So Alligator Alcatraz was a great place, low-cost security facility that would allow us to house thousands of people that are on final orders ultimately before they take their deportation flight home. So I commend our legal team. They did a great job in expedited fashion to get the smackdown from the appellate court to put this Obama-appointed trial judge back in her place. We knew she was wrong on the law. We brought the appeal quickly, and thank goodness we got Alligator Alcatraz back open, operating, continuing to deliver for the American people.
There have been
delivering for the American people. Winning, winning, winning. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is economic treason, plain and simple. John Ossoff promised Georgia workers those jobs. Biden flew down for the photo op. They sold it as America's comeback and said 475 American families got stabbed in the back while illegal workers cashed paychecks meant for U.S. citizens. But here's what burns. This isn't just about one plant across America. How many factories, farms, and construction sites are now also pulling the same scam? How many politicians are getting paid to look away? In the Trump administration, found 22,000 trafficked children, and now they're exposing the job thieves as well. Meanwhile, F-35s are heading to Puerto Rico after Venezuela tested us. The message is clear. We are done being played for suckers. Alligator Alcatraz stays open. ICE is unleashed. The days of selling out American workers for cheap labor are over. So here's the question. Should executives who knowingly hire illegals, should they face jail time? Drop a yes or a no. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. And you can support our work and Alligator Alcatraz at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.